this project, I didn't realize how much of an undertaking it would really be. It's been a learning process, to say the least, but we're almost ready for launch. My team and I wanted to make sure that all of our ducks were in a row before we really got started. All of that said, the Discord is officially live, and I will begin sending out invites via the GoFundMe page messaging system. If you're one of the amazing people who donated to the pre-launch GoFundMe campaign, which is still up, by the way, you'll get a private message from me over the course of the next few days. The GoFundMe is still accepting contributions. Meanwhile, our art director Thatch and I are finalizing the layout of the Kickstarter page, reward tiers, and stretch goals so we can finish what's needed to launch the official Kickstarter. And remember, if you donate to the GoFundMe page, you get your name on a special thank you page in the book, as well as access to the Discord to help us build it. Thank you all very much for your donations, encouragement, and kind words. We're gonna make something awesome.
And while not an official sponsor, and in no way, shape, or form affiliated with Norseforged Gathering, though I do volunteer for them, the Norseforged Gathering 6 tickets have gone on sale. December 1st, they went on sale. May 24th May 22nd through the 24th of next year. Come join the Norseforged Gathering. What is the Norseforged Gathering, you ask? Well, let me explain it to you. It's a realm of unforgettable adventures. You create community, another worlds, quests for all, nightlife. We have a nerd prom. We have metal music and fire on the main stage with fire performers. It's going to be a great time. It's going to be a wonderful time. Tickets are on sale. They are $26.50 for single day passes for adults on all 3 days, or you can get a 3-day pass. 16 and up for the 3-day pass is $67.30. But if you go to the link that is in the description below this video, you can check out all this for yourselves. As a matter of fact, there's 2 links. There's a link for the Norseforged Gathering website itself, and then there's a link for the Norseforged Gathering tickets. So yeah. Welcome in, everybody. This is Rogue Bard Advice, a D&D, TTRPG, life, archaeology, history, and everything nerdcast, so if you will. I am your host, the Pirate Archaeologist, or the Rogue Thief Pirate Archaeologist, or Captain Bartholomew Bones McCoy, whichever you prefer. And I have been your host for the last 39 episodes, and it has been a wonderful year. I want to reach out and I want to thank everybody who is in the chat. Pirate Wifey, Kevin, Yokai, Ron, Ruby, Kirk. Unfortunately, Jim will not be with us tonight. He is feeling ill, and I have something to read from our favorite Puffy Cheeto. She just wanted to keep everyone updated on how everything is going. Her youngest got sick over the holidays. Thoughts go with the youngest. And since Puffy Cheeto was recently diagnosed with COPD, she had to be rushed to the ER over the holidays, trying to get better, started to feel better. Hubby got sick yesterday, so that's still not good. Puffy Cheeto is going to New Year's resolution it, quit smoking at the end of the year. So she's not gonna be messing around with the COPD anymore. So that's a win-win, and I know we usually do the win-win stuff at the end of the show, but Puffy Cheeto's not here, so her win-win goes to the beginning of the show. With that being said, tonight's show may be a short show. It may go long. Who knows? We do not have any Deadly Dungeons this week, or for the foreseeable future, because I have not gotten any action movie stars from you guys who you guys want to see in the Deadly Dungeon. So, and I only got 3 questions this week. Or, well, in the 2 weeks since we've been off. So, I think it's been 2 weeks. Has it been 2 weeks? Kirk, you know. Has it been 2 weeks or has it been 1 week? We were off for Thanksgiving. And we're back. So that's 1 week, right? So, yeah, it was 1 week. It was 2 weeks between the 5th and now. So, it's been 2 weeks. Okay. So, in the 2 weeks that we've been off, we have not gotten questions of life, the universe, and everything. Well, you guys, if you email it, I can get it. And maybe if it's an easy question, we can answer it tonight, or we'll just stack it up for next week. I think that tonight should be an easy night for questions. I really do, because everybody's still reeling from the holidays, and everybody is not here. So, hi, Teeny Monster. Welcome in. So yeah, and everybody's dealing with stuff. Everybody's dealing with sickness. I'm dealing with the new apartment. Apparently, the new apartment that I moved into 3 weeks ago now. Apparently, the former people had dogs. And I say this because when I moved in, there was a paper on the door that was from September. So I know nobody has been living in this apartment since September. You think the apartment would be okay to live in, right? And for the most part, it is. Except about 3 days into me moving into the apartment, from my knee down to my ankle, I have been getting eaten up every freaking night. And last night I did some research because I have gotten creams and everything trying to get rid of these whatever it is that's attacking me. I washed the sheets. I freaking did everything. I'm thinking that this house, this apartment, is infested with fleas. So, yeah, especially since I killed one last night. So, I sent the pirate wifey a 3 photos of my legs yesterday, and she hasn't responded to them. I don't think it's mites, Ruby. I think it's fleas. My legs are freaking just all eat up, and I don't wear shorts. I'm wearing pants, and yet I'm still getting eaten up, which tells me that the fleas were in the bedding. So, yeah, I was gonna do a fogger, Kirk, but I emailed the individuals who run my maintenance for corporate housing, and they're going to have the facility come out and spray. So who knows? I don't know when that's going to be. I don't think it's bed bugs, because bed bugs would be all over my body and not just on my legs. Well, Teeny, the couch is leather, so maybe not the couch, but definitely the carpet that is underneath here, and definitely the sheets and the blanket, the big, thick, heavy blankets. I even ripped the sheets that they had off the bed off, and opened a pack of brand new sheets that they had in the closet. and put those on, and that seemed to get rid of some of the biting. But yeah, I think fleas. I do wear white socks, Kurt. That's the only color socks I wear. But thank you for that. I did see that. And unfortunately, I'm not even picking up any fleas on the white socks. Now, I say fleas because last night I had a little dot on my thumbnail, and I went to crush it, and it proofed blood. So I'm thinking fleas. I think they should too, but they can only put me where they have contracts and where they have openings, and they don't have neither. A Ruby, I will try that. I haven't tried that yet, but I will. New sheets reducing bites. Sounds like bed bugs, though. Fingers crossed for you. Yeah. But like I said, bed bugs would have been all over my body, and I'm not getting bites all over my body. Bed bugs aren't just localized to the ankles. Now, fleas and no-see-ums and other stuff, they like the ankles, the shins, the ankles, because that's where the blood pulsings are. That's where there's a lot of heat generation. Their extremities, they're drawn to that. This is true. This is true. Sprinkle borax acid on the carpet, let it sit for 30 minutes, then vacuum. I'll try that. Yeah, Teeny, these aren't straight lines. They're... so, here's the thing. My legs look like a meth addict's face. From the middle of my shin down to my ankle, just in that section, look like a meth user's face because they itch so much. And it's not bug bites like bed bugs. Leprechauns gotta lure them out with whiskey. Whiskey, or do we lure them out with bacon? Give Kirk the advice column. Oh. If they're in the mattress, yokai, then the facility here is going to get me a new mattress, because this is a fully furnished apartment. So I do nothing but move into it. I get dishes, I get in the room or in the apartment laundry and dryer, or washer and dryer. They furnish the towels. They furnish all the TVs, everything. So if there's something wrong with the mattress, then they're going to be the one to cover it. Next question for Cook. How should I paint my blank mini skulls? Could be scabies as well. They burrow under the skin in vulnerable areas and lay eggs that are super itchy. Oh, you're sorry. That is chiggers. Yeah, it could be. I don't know if they are, but it's another line of defense if needed. That's all I was thinking. No, yeah, you're right. No, absolutely right. Absolutely right. Gotta go. Cinco de Mayo, Day of the Dead, colorful. Yes, yes, yes. So Bacon's here. Bacon, did you get the announcement at the beginning of the show? If not, I can go back to it. I like to go back to it. You know why? Because it's burning time off the clock. So, time for commercial break And commercial break number 1 is the Norseforged Gathering 6. Tickets are available. Get your tickets. Come out and see me. It's in North Carolina. It's a wonderful time. It's a wonderful experience. And you get to meet so many new people. So many people. So many people who become instant friends. Come out, play live action role-playing games. Come out and do axe throwing. We've had axe throwing at the last 3 events. Lots of food. There's a reason it's, 16 and up for the most part, but there's a reason there's a lot of areas that are 18 and up or 21 and up. There's a lot of alcohol. So, but yeah, tickets are on sale now. Go get your ticket. Come see me. Come see Bacon. Bacon will be there. Teeny may be there. Who knows? We're trying. Unfortunately, Pirate Wife won't be there. But yeah, no fleas. No fleas at Norseforged Gathering. However, there is camping. And there is premium camping tents. You can get a premium tent. Now tents are limited. So if you get your ticket and you want to get a tent and you want to camp out for the 3 days, it's $52 to get a premium tent. Otherwise, you get a primitive camping spot where you have to provide your own tent. Not a bad, but you have to get there to set up before you can do any festivities. On top of that, it's a Boy Scout camp. So it's outdoorsy stuff. So if you like outdoorsy stuff, come on in. Unfortunately, there is up front, there's camping areas for the disabled individuals, but there is no RV camping. There is no, if you need power, you have those powered campsites up at the front of the campground. So, and it is beautiful, absolutely, Bacon. It is so beautiful. You're right on a man-made lake that used to be a town, and they got everybody out of the town, and they flooded the town, and there's a plane that, before they flooded it, there was a plane that crashed into the woods, and so a plane is 1,000 feet down in that lake, just sitting there in the trees. Yeah, it's and there's an archaeological site down the street. Yeah. Do tents need to be period historic tents or modern gear is okay? For camping, modern gear is okay. If you want to dress up, it's a fantasy. They're running it this year as like a fantasy Ren Fair. Last year it was strictly Norse Viking stuff, though pirates invaded. But we have figured out pirates are just Vikings of the Caribbean, so approved. We do have a guy walking around, Yui. He is a doctor cosplayer. And by doctor cosplayer, I do mean he is a Whovian. But he is our resident photographer. He'll take photography or photographs of everybody. The story of the plane and the archaeology site. Okay, so if you want that, that'll be the subject of next week's show. How's that, Teeny? It's just nerdy. Come be whatever kind of nerdy you want. Exactly. Be nerdy. Be nerdy. So, I haven't been outside. Well, that's going to sound weird. No, I haven't been outside in 23 years. No. The pirate wife keeps you locked up. No. No, I haven't been camping in almost, prior to this past May, in almost 30 years, and it was great. I do miss it. I wish we could have camped out at Legacy. I wish Legacy was more than just a day, but Legacy was great too. Fantasy Fair, Nerd Haven, bring your best nerd. Cash is always wonderful. All the vendors also take card. There's going to be lots of mead vendors there, at least 4. But I do have it on good authority that Moonjoy Meadery, and I should do a little blurby for them too. Moonjoy Meadery, they're in North Carolina, I think close to Asheville. After last year's gathering, I reached out to them, and they are and have and bottled the Tuesday before the Legacy gathering a pirate edition of their mead. Working with me, we created a flavor. It is pineapple, banana, caramel that is infused with rum barrel chips. The chips of the barrel that the rum gets aged in. They threw those chips in there, and they made a mead with pineapple, banana, caramel, and rum barrel chips. And it's called the Pirate's Plunder. And it is a crystal clear, yellow, clear clarity mead. They showed me pictures of it. They're aging it in the bottles now. It will be ready. It would have been ready at the gathering, but they didn't know I was, or at Legacy, but they didn't know I was coming. But it will be available at Norseforged Gathering 6. So that is good. Yeah. So anyway, have we burned off enough time? We got 10:22. It was great camping in the premium tents. Yes, I got my tickets. I got my premium tent. Yeah, so I'm all good to go. So, any questions about the Norseforged Gathering? If not, we're going to go into our first question. And our first question comes from the illustrious Kirk. What monster is suited stat-wise to be used as a giant turkey in D&D? Now, I have to preface this. This question came just before Thanksgiving, but we didn't have a show. So, I reached back into the bag of tricks, and we're going to answer this question now. At first, Kirk, I was thinking Tarask, but then I followed it with stat-wise. And what I came up with as the best animal to use, the best monster to use in D&D as a giant turkey would have to be a giant vulture. A giant vulture is a large beast with a low AC, moderate hit points, and slow ground speed, but a long fly speed. Pack tactics make groups of them threatening. This matches the idea of turkeys flocking birds that can mob prey and harass PCs. Its damage output and simple multi-attack make it easy to reskin as a turkey's beak and talons without mechanical changes. It's best when you want a gritty scavenger field turkey that fights in groups. Then I went with the giant eagle. Giant eagle has a higher strength, dex, and a much faster fly speed, plus better AC and hit point than the vulture, making it a good choice if you want a powerful, fast, and mount-capable turkey. Think war turkeys or noble giant birds. Its multi-attack and higher attack bonuses make it more dangerous solo, and its stats spread supports aerial hit and run tactics. And then we have Giant Owls. Giant Owl has flyby and strong perception stealth, making it ideal if you want a turkey that ambushes or serves as a fey forest guardian. Not that type of fey. You know who I'm looking at. Actually, it probably is that type of fey. It's weaker in raw damage and HP than the eagle, but its stealth and mobility let it play a different role. Scout, messenger, or magical companion. And it's easy to reskin visually as a broad-winged turkey with silent flight. So, I hope that helped you in your giant turkey D&D monster build there, Kirk. Now, before we go on to the next question, that reminded me, and it's story time again, that reminded me of something that happened early this week, maybe end of last week at work. So prior to me leaving Gainesville, me and my manager, who also plays D&D, were talking about the group, our group of people as a whole, and what role they would fit in D&D, like what character class they would be. Well, it got to a point where it got one of them actually interested. One of our coworkers got interested in it. She reached out to me because she left this disaster and went to North Carolina. And she reached out to me and asked me, how do you level up in D&D? And I explained to her that leveling up in D&D is XP based. You do things, you fight monsters, and you gain experience points. A lot of the experience points that you get is arbitrary because it's given out by the DM and it's given out for role play situations. However, there are set experience that is given out by fighting monsters. And then I had to go in and explain to her, and I found a way to completely explain challenge ratings. And it came to me while having this conversation with her, and I explained it this way to her, and she actually got it. Let's talk about challenge ratings for a minute. Challenge ratings go from, on monsters, can go from a CR of 1/8 all the way up to a CR of 100, correct? Maybe not a CR 100, but close enough to it. That means, if you're a level 1 character, you need 8 CR 1/8 monsters to make it a challenge for you. Right? Or if you have a monster that is a challenge rating of 100, that means you need at least 100 level 1 characters to fight that monster. Right? If that's not clear enough for you, think of it this way. And once you realize that Harry Potter is D&D, you'll completely understand. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. When Hermione, Ron, and Harry are in the girls' restroom fighting the cave troll. There's 3 of them and 1 cave troll. That tells me that the cave troll's CR rating is 3. Conversely, in Deathly Hallows, Voldemort is a CR rating of, let's put him at 20, right? And let's put Harry as a CR rating of 15 to 18 at that point in time, right? It makes the battle with Voldemort difficult, but not impossible. Now you tell me, chat, you tell me. Does that explain challenge ratings? Did that do a great job of explaining how challenge ratings work? I am full screen. This is full screen. Ostrich, emu. Yeah, ostrich, emu for the giant turkey. In the time that passed, I was thinking of using a T-Rex, but giving it a flying speed. Ooh. You could. Turkeys can fly about as well as chickens, just not the big turkeys sold in the store. How about turkey vultures? How about turkey vultures? Leveling up could be years in Hogwarts. Each year is a new level. Yes. But I was more looking at the leveling as in like ages. So not just ages, but your ages and your magical abilities and everything that you're taught at Hogwarts. So who knows? Look, wild turkeys aren't fast unless you put a straw in the bottle and have air going up to the... but you're not talking about that type of wild turkey, are you, Kevin? I don't think that's the wild turkey you're talking about. Okay, so if you guys didn't know, okay, if you have a bottle and you stick a straw in the mouth of the bottle and have it out, and then you drink from the mouth of the bottle, the air will rush into the straw, fill up the bottom of the bottle, and help you get the liquid that's in the bottle into your gut faster. On ground and air, I've seen wild turkeys fly. They aren't pretty when they land. Farm turkeys are a bit too chunky for all of that. Yeah. And chickens fly when you kick them. But I think we're getting off topic. Everybody's on the turkeys. That's a straw, Pete. Bacon nose. Bacon nose. Also, if you twist or twirl the bottle and make a vortex in it and do it, like shotgun in a beer. Yeah? Yeah. Anyway, moving on to question 2. We've got 2 more questions tonight before we can get into chat and good things of the week and everything. So our question number 2 also comes from Kirk. Oh, and before we get to question 2, Kirk actually sent me 3 questions this week. Though I'm not going to answer the first or the second question because part of the second question was a question in itself. Have I asked you this before? And the answer to that question is yes. Like in our 5th or 6th episode. And I'll tell you guys what the question was. The question was, what was the first piece of music? And we discussed that. So, I will not be answering that question again, Kirk. Thank you for the question, though. But, please try again. On to question 2. It's basically UK version of shotgun and can of beer. Yeah. Anyway, question 2 is, how would you build a Santa Claus character? Rogue for sneaking ability? Druid for dealing with reindeer? Does it have to be a Santa Claus? Can it be a John McClane? Anyway, short answer, build a Santa as a charisma and wisdom focused support leader. A warm, magical giver who protects and rewards. The clean mechanical core, and you're going to love this because you didn't even think about it, and if you did, you didn't mention it. The clean mechanical core is College of Lore or Glamour Bard, 6 levels, and 6 levels of Life or Nature Cleric. Or, for a single class, instead of multi-classing, you could do a Circle of the Land Druid for a more nature-bound Santa. The concept is a jolly, ancient gift bringer who travels the world, judges hearts, and protects children. Mechanically, this means high charisma for social magic and presence, good wisdom for perception and insight, and enough constitution to survive winter storms and chimney squeezes. Yes, you're going to send your Santa down to chimneys. Bard 6, Cleric 6. Bard gives social spells, ritual utility, and bardic inspiration. Cleric, the life or nature, supplies healing, protective domain features, and divine flavor for miracle gift work. This combo supports both roleplay and party support, matching community builds that emphasize charisma and benevolence. Now, this just hit me, Kirk. I think if you really want a good Santa build, then go check out the Christmas episode, or one of the Christmas episodes of Bard Advice, or not Bard Advice, Man Shorts D&D editions, because I'm pretty sure Chaz snuck in a Santa character into one of his D&D play sessions for the party. Santa Claus, meaning St. Nicholas, would be a cleric. Santa Claus, the Germanic mythical figure version, would be a celestial devil or archfey or some sort. I think archfey fits best. Probably. Paladin. Ooh. A Bardadin. A Paladin Bard. Paladin, lawful good, rewards good behavior. It gives coal for bad behavior, judging everyone. You know, is Santa Claus just Judge Dredd? Is Santa Claus the kids' version of Judge Dredd? And if that's the case, would RoboCop be Krampus? That's interesting. Maybe those should be on our list of Deadly Dungeon stuff. Maybe we do a Deadly Dungeon for later on this month for Christmas timey stuff. But maybe a one-off. It won't be a whole freaking battle royal thingy. Judge Dredd has dreams about being Santa Claus, I bet. Maybe. Anyway, there's your Santa Claus build, Kirk. I hope it was informative for you. But we do have to move on, because our next question comes... Oh, and the race for Santa, Hill Dwarf or human variant. But our next question comes from Kevin. And Kevin has been waiting and waiting for this question. And Kevin's question is this. Why did Rome shift from shield and short sword infantry to more use of longer swords, different armor, and more cavalry later on? Assuming my take on that is even correct. What were the driving factors? Tech, metals, smith, culture, money, adapting to new enemies, tactics, or terrain? If they wished for greater distance, why not use spears or javelins, which they already had? Thanks for taking my question. Anytime, Kevin. Please send more questions. Also, before I answer this question, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that share button, follow the stream, hit the notification button so that you get notified that we're going live. I don't know how people are getting into the chat before I even go live, so that's beyond me. But I am glad that people are getting in the chat before we go live. But go ahead, hit that like, share, subscribe button. Send this out to your friends. I'm guarantee if you're here, your friends would love to be here too. It's a great way to spend an hour on a Friday. It's a great way to decompress mentally. It's a great way just to have fun with friends, talk with friends, and possibly learn something that you didn't even know, like what we're about to do right now. Kirk's liked and subscribed. But to answer Kevin's questions, the short answer, Kevin, is Rome's shift towards longer swords, different armor, and more cavalry was pragmatic adaptation to changing enemies, battlefield geometry, and manpower economic realities. The Spatha and lighter, cheaper kit fit mounted warfare and more mobile, less tightly drilled infantry, rather than a single technological breakthrough. From the 3rd century onward, Rome faced more mobile foes, Germanic cavalry, steppe horsemen, and mixed barbarian forces, and fought on more open ground where reach and slashing from horseback mattered. The longer Sparta was already a cavalry weapon and naturally spread because mounted troops needed a longer blade for cutting at speed. Infantry adopted it too because reach mattered when formations were looser. This was not a sudden fashion change, but a gradual tactical response to new threats and threats of war. Or theaters of war, sorry. The late empire emphasized cavalry for scouting, pursuit, and shock. A longer sword is more useful from saddle than a short stabbing gladius. It complements lances and missile troops and lets horsemen finish or disrupt enemy infantry. As cavalry's role grew, so did the production and distribution of weapons optimized for mounted use, reinforcing the trend away from the classic short sword, large shield legionary kit. I wrote it, can't read it from a distance. Armor economy and production changed armor styles. Mail, scale, lamellar, segmented pieces reflect both tactical needs and economical industrial limits. Full, expensive Liorca, segmentata, and large scuda were costly to produce and maintain. Later forces relied more on cheaper, modular, or locally made kit, and on troops recruited from provincial and barbarian pools who brought their own styles and preferences. Metallurgy improved in some ways, allowing longer, tougher blades, but the shift was as much about cost, supply, and recruitment as it was about pure technology. So they went from the bronze gladius to the iron short sword to the steel long sword. If that makes sense. That's the progression. It's because the lives are scheduled so it opens chat up a bit before. That makes sense. Okay. Sounds like a question for Lindy Beige. Could be. Could be. But Rome continued to use spears, pila, and javelins, but they served different roles. Missiles and spears create distance and disruptions, while swords are the decisive, close combat tool. When formations became less dense and fighting became more fluid, a longer cutting sword gave both infantry and cavalry a better tool for the final melee, especially against lighter armored foes or in pursuit. Cavalry can't effectively throw pila while charging. They need a cutting weapon. Thus, swords and spears remain complementary rather than interchangeable. However, I would like to caveat that this is in Rome. Okay? If you go outside of Rome, missile troops on cavalry horseback were the primary fighting force of the Mongolians. There was no, in my mind, in my opinion, there is no better mounted cavalry force shooting bows and arrows than the Mongols. I don't even think the Romans had bow and arrow or bow and arrow cavalry until way later. I think the longer swords became necessary during Rome's final years when they were fighting space aliens who had very long arms. That's funny, Ron. Kirk. That's absolutely funny. But that's ultimately, Kevin, that's ultimately why everything changed. It's just a natural progression of a lot of things coalescing all at once over a large period of time. Warfare changed. Kirk is on point tonight, Bacon. Though Kirk is also stoking the fire, so that's a dual thing. He's stoking the fire at the house to keep the ladies of the house warm because it's snowing where he's at, and he's stoking the flames here in the podcast tonight, which I absolutely love. So, but yeah, so changing tactics over time and everything, I think that played a much bigger role in Rome's decision to change up how they fight and what they fight with, especially when they got up in England, because now you're on open battlefields, you're on open fields in northern England. You're building freaking stone walls to separate people, and there's just not. I mean, the English and how the English fought was square platoons, just like the Romans. Large fighting battles. Not a lot of people in England had horse cavalry. I mean, if you were on a horse, you were probably an aristocrat style fighter. And I mean, and I say aristocrat style, but I mean, you were probably a knight. You were probably not a plebeian. You were probably not a lower class person. You don't think the Middle Eastern nations had better horse archers than the Mongols? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You take Genghis Khan's Mongol horde, who ran roughshod over 3/4 of Asia for almost 1,000 years against any of the Middle Eastern countries. Absolutely, hands down, it's the Mongol horde. There's a reason that it is said that like 1 in 1,000 individuals in the United States, or not in the United States, but in the world, share some portion of their DNA with Genghis Khan. That is not just a statement. That is fact. Genghis Khan and the Mongol horde held 3/4 of Asia for almost 1,000 years. And they were nomadic. So, types of bows used were heavily dependent on the local climate. A Mongol short bow would fall apart in Britain due to the damp, destroying the hide glues used in their composite bows. Absolutely, Ron. Now, don't get me wrong. If the Mongols had gone to England, they probably would have adapted the English bows to use on their horseback. I mean, fighting with a bow and arrow is fighting with a bow and arrow, no matter if it's a short composite bow, if it's a short bow, if it's a long bow, it doesn't matter. It's just the size of the bow depends, or it gives you the ability to run it on horseback. Now, I'm pretty sure that the English had short composite bows or short bows that they could adapt. And even if they didn't use English bows, they could have used German bows. Or not German bows, but maybe Gaul bows. Or I don't know if they would have made it all the way to Spain, but they could have used Spanish bows. It's just, you use the equipment that you're at. And maybe it would have fallen apart immediately, but over time it would have degraded and fallen apart. I will say that. But yes, thank you for that. I thought everyone related to Genghis Khan was just because he really liked women more than Bill. We're not going there, Kevin. We're not going there. We're not going there. But I do hope you liked the answer to that question, Kevin. It was a really great question. It was a really in-depth question. I really liked it. Hope you got something out of it. But yeah. And it's 10:53. We made it an hour, guys. So, I have been slacking for the last couple streams. I have not been getting everybody's good thing for the week. So, tonight we're going to go through everybody's good things of the week. Tell me your good thing of the week. And if you want to tell me a bad thing of the week, we can deal with a bad thing of the week. I've already got a friend of mine who her upstairs neighbor's bathroom leaks into her apartment downstairs, and it's not good. And yeah, I'm gonna get yelled at for that. You're welcome for my thorough answer, Kevin. Anytime I can give you a thorough answer, I will try. So, good things for the week. Besides the Norseforged Gathering tickets went on sale December 1st. Kevin has a good bad thing of the week. Let's go. Floor is yours, Kevin. What is it? What do we got? I will tell you, this is the longest part of the show. Gathering is Bacon's good thing of the week. Gathering should be everybody's good thing of the week, Bacon. I even reached out to the Bard extraordinaire himself, asking him if he wanted to take a vacation next May. Because if Bacon doesn't know, a lot of everybody in here, except for the people that I brought in here from Norseforged Gathering 5, should know that Yazik, Chaz, our bard father, our bard father, is a musician, and he does wonderful D&D based music. And I thought that it might be a wonderful idea to get him 20 to 50,000 more people exposure, which is what we're expecting at Norseforged 6. And maybe he can do a set. Maybe he can do a volunteer application to do a set there at the Gathering. A musical set. Who knows? He hasn't responded to me, but it's out there. Kevin accidentally stepped on a pill cut and split open his right big toe, but it was near the tip, so as far as I know, it didn't cut anything important. So far, no infection or the need for stitches. Pill cutter. Yeah, no, I got that, Kevin. That stinks. That stinks. It's okay. I got up one morning when I was in Germany and looked out the side, or looked out the window, and yelled to the pirate wife to come to the window and take a look at it, or take a look what's going on outside. And she jumps out of her bed, jumps out of her side of the bed, runs to the window. But in the process of her running to the window, she missed. And her left foot, her left pinky toe, hit the wood corner of one of the legs of the bed and broke it. So she blames me. She says that I broke her toe. And she always says that she blames me, even though that happened like 16 years ago. But Teeny's really good thing of the week is that no kids stayed home from school this week. A first. Yes, that is good. That is good. Nobody wanted to be a burrito. Well, they wanted to be a burrito, but somebody kicked them out of the house. That's ouch, ouch, ouch. Ron slipped on some ice and bruised his hip. No bruising of the hip, Ron. No bruising of the hip. Absolutely not. You only get one of them. Maybe two, sometimes even 3 hip replacements in your life. No bruising of the hip. I'm going to wrap you all in a bubble wrap. Hey, I wasn't a pirate at the time, but it was snow. So the rest of that was that it was snowing in Germany, which means I didn't have to go to work because my car would not get up the top of the hill. So that was the reason I was excited, and she jumped out of bed to go look at snow. Now, then she hit me, not because she broke her toe, but because I made her get up out of bed to look at snow. Mind you, she's from upstate New York, close enough to be Canadian. And I say that with she's from the Syracuse area of New York, and I consider that close enough to Canada to be Canada. Get one of those pallet spinner things like they do for the saran wrap in warehouses, but bubble wrap. You know, Teeny, that's not actually a bad idea. As a matter of fact, if you ever travel to Italy and you travel to the Leonardo da Vinci Aeropuerto in Rome, which is the Leonardo da Vinci Airport, International Airport in Rome, they actually have one of those saran wrap spinner things so you can actually saran wrap your luggage before you throw it through the inspection thing and before they put it on the plane, because luggage likes to get damaged on long haul flights. You get a foam ball and can't hear. Sorry. Are you saying phone call? Well, toss that ball away. I am 42 years old, Ron. I have never broken a single bone in my body. However, I have had 150 stitches in my head and face. I've had, 157 stitches in my head and face, because I had 7 stitches when I was like 5 years old, right here in the middle of my forehead, from jumping up on the bed and jumping forward and slamming my head into the headboard. And then from here, and here, I had a bicycle accident when I was 14 years old, and ran into the back end of a Bell South utility truck that was parked. Yes, I hit a parked truck on my bike. Laughter should ensue in the chat. But I had 150 stitches in my head and face, and from that same accident, I had 1 stitch in my left shin, and that's the only one that hurt. So, but no broken bones, no major surgeries. Well, okay, no major surgeries until I had until I was 38, and I had my nasal turbinate reduction surgery, a septoplasty, and a tonsillectomy, all in the same day, to try and alleviate some of my sleep apnea symptoms. But Ruby's broken almost every bone. Bacon, get on that. Wrapping Ruby up in bubble wrap. Kevin's broken 1 arm and 1 finger twice. Teeny's broken arm, leg, tailbones, ribs, nose. Wrap Teeny up in bubble wrap too. Yokai has broken 1 ankle and 1 bone in her hand. Both relatively minor. Ruby had help. I'm assuming it was not good help. Was it more along the lines of a vehicular accident? And you've had over 40 surgeries. Yes. We wish you didn't have to have so many surgeries, Ruby. Ooh. Yeah, that'll do it. Bacon's broken several things, but also have probably less than I should have. Ron said stitches here and there, but don't count broken nose as a broken bone. No, because your nose is cartilage. So well, for some reason, we got out of good things of the week and gone on to broken bones. So, with that being said, we are getting close. Well, hold on a minute. I always do this, and then Kevin pops in, and And I always forget to see what Kevin says. Corny as it sounds, meeting with you all this, my good thing of the week, many of the weeks. I'm glad Pirate continued the Bard Advice tradition, but his own flavor. Almost episode 40 now. Well, you know what, Kevin? That, I appreciate that. I really do. And I could not do this without your guys' support. You guys are what makes this happen. Yes, I made it happen because I thought I could do good. I could do this. I could keep the tradition alive. And you guys have just absolutely knocked it out of the park for me. And I appreciate each and every single one of you. Each and every week that you guys show up to show me the support means so much to me. Ruby's good thing of the week is that she has her next surgery booked for January 7th. Well, I hope that is a good day for you, Ruby. I do want to share something about January 7th with you. That is me evil birth mother's birthday. So, but I do hope that January 7th is good for you. I really do hope the surgery goes well. I stepped in. We just happen to be what you stepped on. Ew, that doesn't sound as... Listen, Kevin, I love you. I love you, bro. I love each and every single one of you. And with that, we are going to send it over to our outro because we have no Deadly Dungeon tonight. So, with that being said, please hit that share, subscribe. Please bring friends along next time when we will be talking about an archaeological site at the Boy Scout camp or near the Boy Scout camp for Norseforged Gathering 6. With that being said, I thank everyone for being here. Ruby, Ron, Teeny, Bacon, Kevin, Kirk. Give a big shout out to Jim McKenzie. He's not feeling well. Give a big shout out to Puffy Cheeto. She's not feeling well. And all the Puffy Cheeto family. With that being said, please, if it interests you, go back and go to the NorseforgedGathering.com. Go get tickets to the gathering in May. Would love to see you there. If you haven't already, join the Discord. If you want to join the Discord, join the Discord. We have a Discord. We will be posting this. This will be available as soon as the stream ends on this local channel. So, with that being said, please send your questions to roguebardadvice@gmail.com. That's roguebardadvice. It looks like roguebardadvice at gmail.com. And I will get to answering your questions next week and in future weeks. With that being said, this is the Rogue Pirate Archaeologist, the Pirate Archaeologist, Captain Bartholomew Bones McCoy. You may know me as Chris. And as I always say, take what you will, give nothing back, and keep to the pirate's code. If you get behind, you get left behind. See you guys next week. Same Rogue Bard time. Same Rogue Bard channel. Adieu.